N- Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lunch and Learn number 16. What's ahead for Sportle in 2026? Welcome to everyone. Again, my name is Aaron Lavorato, and I'll be your host for this session. Today's session, again, is all about Sportle. Over the past 4 years, Baseball Alberta has gone through um, an evolution, a modernization under our leader and executive director, Danielle Moffat. And I know all of our BA veterans on the online today would echo that through our communication, new website, new branding, additional staff. Um, we have evolved, and we continue to evolve. And Sportle has been a big part of that evolution. So. Um, Sportle continues to grow and improve, and today's session is all about those improvements. So we're excited today to have Michael Sawicz, North America Technical Account Manager with Sportle. Thank you for being with us, Michael.
Thank you very much, Aaron.
And of course, Liam Froment, who you all know who Liam is. He is our digital and software lead here at Baseball Alberta. Uh, these guys are smart. They are technical. I'll call them nerds, and it's with mad respect that term that I'm using. And so today we're really lucky to have you guys. I really appreciate it. And I'm just going to say again, Liam, thank you for the membership of Baseball Alberta. When we do have a Sportle question, not only do you answer it, but you send along a video only that you can do to answer those questions. So really appreciate it as we go through this evolution. So let's get to it. Michael, many of our users ask about specific Sportle play improvements. Are there future enhancements planned for live scorekeeping or game sheets directly within the platform?
Yeah, so we've met a lot of MHAs, and the season has ended a couple of weeks ago now. At this point, of course, we've met a couple of MHAs, and I think really introduced them to what Sportle Play, the full ecosystem really does. For them, I don't think sometimes that they know how far we go. Like we're going to mention in the future about 60 to 65% of all Albertans baseball are using our solution, but of course some of them are not, and some of them that I'm actually meeting different minor baseball associations, they're actually surprised that they didn't know that this is going on, and the benefit of this is the provincial body, Baseball Alberta, has signed, for this to happen for everybody equally. So I think it's a very big opportunity for everybody to kind of be part of the same ecosystem. Of course, there it always comes with a cultural switch or a cultural change where I'm so used to the button being here, I'm so used to doing it like this. But as technology advances, well, we have to evolve with it. Some people are against it, and that's okay, and it's everybody's opinion. But if the sport is going in a certain direction, we try to adjust, right? And even ourselves, we're very open to everybody's opinion and situation and cultural switch. And obviously, this is why we have Q&A sessions. That's why we go through it with everybody one by one on different departments. And then from there, the big change that is coming up, that is not even there now. Of course, right now, the very simple statistics is the red team once against the blue team 2-1. All right, or here's a certain specific score. What we're going to be doing, we actually went to go see an actual school of technological engineering, a polytechnique, and we actually found two individuals that are not even graduated yet, that will graduate soon, and then they will start working with Sportle. And what they will be doing is they will be building for us a fully statistical scenario that everyone across all of our provinces could use for statistics. So that paper game sheet that you guys have, the pen and paper or pencil and paper, like that you guys use, we're going to be digitalizing this. So obviously, we've been a long time partner with Baseball Quebec. and obviously a longtime partner with Baseball Alberta. So everyone's feedback from the provincial body to the regions to the the minors, everybody's suggestions are going to be there. So we're going to be digitalizing this. So next summer, the beta will be coming out, obviously. And what we're going to be trying to do is making sure that everybody's different scenarios are going to be in there. And one thing that Liam said, well, obviously we were talking about this. Baseball statistics sometimes are the hardest statistics to get around, but in a very positive way, meaning there's like so much of it. And then from that evolution, we're going to be doing also player evaluation, right? So we're going to be doing this through our page. So just very briefly, there's Sportal ID, which is kind of like the provincial body. Then you have Sportal Play, which is really the operations where the schedules go, where the assigning happens and everything happens. Then the Sportal Page is kind of like the website. So it's the visual of yourself where you have all your schedules and everything. And we started slowly introducing the app, and obviously we'll get into that a little bit later, but that's really for the end users and the parents more than anything. And then that player evaluation will be accessible through Page. So Page, the evaluator that will have obviously a right in that page will be able to see that minor player and go and evaluate that player, obviously based off of what Baseball Alberta would like to evaluate that, and obviously everybody's comments of how the evaluation should happen. And through that evaluation after, obviously base that, and what's cool about that is you'll have that in years, right? So if you go through maybe in a year, maybe 2 or 3 different evaluations, depending on how many trials, or possibly for you want to be part of like the provincial body, team. Well, then before doing that selection, obviously the provincial people who are judging everybody will be able to see that evaluation that he's had during the year so far, right? And then maybe base their choice off that, and of course their own evaluation. And that is the beta of it is also coming this coming year. And then after that, we'll tweak it, make it better, and then obviously evolution. So that's the biggest thing about us as a technological company is we're not stagnant, right? We're not just going to stay there and here's a rock, like have fun with a rock. You know, we're moving, we're always growing. And the biggest thing about it is we're growing with the sports and we're growing with our partners, which is obviously Liam and the provincial bodies and everybody there. And we listen, what do you guys need? Right. So if you need it, that means that the other provinces need it, and you're doing the same action that they're doing. So how about we develop it for everybody? Right. So then we take
Absolutely.
everybody's comment and we go through it. And the third big thing that we did this year are temporary teams or groups, if you want to say. So at the beginning of the season, obviously there's tryouts, right? So the biggest thing about it is tryouts, you're never sure because you're trying out what association you're going to, right? So the tryout, you don't pay the provincial fee because obviously you're not sure where you're going to go yet. So the tryout is obviously a tryout, and then from that tryout, the associations will be able to create temporary teams in play, but they will act as if they're just regular teams. So you're going to be able to schedule them. You're going to be able to do all the same actions that in teams. So you create it in play, but you use all of the players that come from the registration from ID. So everything is still the same, but it's just not as difficult and as simple. And then
Right.
from that, you could basically create your schedule, right? And then from that schedule, then you're like, okay, well, this is the next trial schedule, trial phase. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Thank you very much for participating. You weren't chosen. And then it goes on. And then that person will then obviously do an online registration with the actual association that they want to go through. And
Awesome.
then obviously the regular season starts and we go.
What I'm hearing is that Sportle is along with us in creating value for people on the field, and
Absolutely.
it's always going to change and get better for that user.
Mhm.
You're talking about the differences with the different associations have kind of those traditional CRM, whether it be Team Snap or Ramp or these other zones, and it's really about Sportle continuing to be better to create value for our members. I think that's really where we're going with this. Now, I think it feels kind of heavy as a volunteer, right? Like
Yeah, of course.
to get used to something new or whatnot. And
Mhm.
you know, it as the sport volunteer is the lifeblood of the Canadian sport delivery system, no question.
100%.
And we're there to create value and to help them. So, Liam, like, what can we expect when it comes to improvements to the Sportal Clubhouse resource hub that really benefits the baseball Alberta member on the ground level at the field? What do we have on the go?
Yeah, so with our resource hub, if you're unaware of what it is, I'm going to add a little ticker here on the bottom that you can see how you can get there. It's just sportal.baseballalberta.com. And this is our specific platform. We understand that Sportle has all of their platforms that you can use your registration and all the different specific things you can do with it. But we have also specific requirements that we require from Baseball Alberta standpoint. So the clubhouse is that main resource that you can go to for Baseball Alberta specific stuff. With this hub, you can basically find step-by-step guides, training materials, and support specifically for associations. Our goal in 2026 is going to be making these resources a little more role specific. So for the umpire assigner, for the manager, for the coach, as opposed to more of a broad base of individuals using the system. So we do want to note that each role will have targeted content so that users will see basically only what's relevant towards them. The current layout that we already have, there's written documentation, and then within each of those sections, we do have some video tutorials developed. We plan to heavily dive into that video-based content more in the future. We think that is the best way to learn some of this stuff. And if you can go on and see it on demand, and we understand obviously our association staff and volunteers are super busy, so it's tough to get them scheduled into something. So we want it to be able to access at any point. So that's a main thing that we're going to be focusing on with that hub. And then obviously some admin prefer self-learning. That's how we want to develop it. So you can go on whenever you want and learn these systems independently. And then if anybody else needs, more specific support, we're always here. Michael's here to chat with you, to sit down with you, and we can discuss any questions that might not be covered in our resource center. We understand that we're not going to be able to cover every single topic in there. So that's why we're here to answer those questions and set up meetings with anybody that's interested in that as well. But obviously the long-term goal is to make learning Sportle simple, faster, and then hopefully we can tailor that to every specific user in the future.
Yeah, so Michael, like, Sportle isn't just a one-stop shop Baseball Alberta. You're servicing multiple NSOs, or national sport organizations, and PSOs, provincial sport organizations. Obviously, everybody's learning new. There's a lot of volunteers. Any Does Sportle have any plans to develop new training tools or support those types of initiatives on your end?
Yeah, so we now have hired two other individuals. One of them that actually does the training videos for Baseball Quebec. That basically, as you could imagine, is very French, and obviously some English, but not so much. But now we hired one individual that is re-seeing all of the documentation. So obviously, if you want to say it was very word heavy, so there's not so much videos, but now we're really putting videos in absolutely every single training. So I think it'll be a hybrid of Liam's videos and Liam's scenarios and our scenarios that will be together, and we'll just make it as simple as we can for those actual individuals itself.
Excellent. I mean, it's great to have the support. Like, honestly, as overwhelming, but it's great to hear that Baseball Alberta and Sportle are so closely working together, and it's great to have specific people that are servicing us in our membership. So now, Michael, the big question we get all the time is an app. Our world is certainly becoming app based, and the beta was rolled out last season. What does the roadmap look like for its full release, and ultimately, the communication around and the rollout and the timelines for that for 2026?
Yeah, so for us, for the app, we kind of launched it like 2 weeks before your season stopped. And obviously it was not our choice. As you could imagine, all of the companies that we submitted like 3 months before it actually came out, but then they have to come out with everything. So the timing just happened and it was okay. And then we met when we met different MHAs, they really wanted obviously the app for the communication and really like the standard of the full ecosystem. So to really be blunt, it really is the app for the end users, right? It really is for the parents. It really is for the players, right? Page is really the communication tool that the association could use to communicate with their people and everything to that. So the app with obviously the premium version. So the base of the app, getting your schedule, getting notifications, that will be there's no cost, right? So we want people to get that information, right? So that was one thing that we really established really early on to say, if we're going to do an app, we want a base that people could use, right? So you go in there, you use your username and password that you sign in to register. So it's the same one that's in ID. It's the same one that you use for the app, right? So if you're a parent or if you're the child, all you got to do is synchronize those things. And if grandma or grandpa wants to follow the schedule of that person, well, then the parent will get a notification to say, hey, this person is trying to connect with the schedule of your son. Is that okay? Well, of course, grandma had a conversation with mom before and say, hey, I'm going to try to do this. You're going to get a notification. Could you just send me the number? Poof, everything is done. Now grandpa has the schedule and everything is good. So on the premium side, obviously you'll have the team chat. So people will be able to communicate. You could put external links. You could put files. You could put pictures. You could put videos. And then maybe a month ago, we came up with a staff chat. So it's a chat that's just for the staff. That's just really for them to have a communication with. And a big thing about it too is attendance, right? So before the activity happens. So an activity is many things. It could be a practice, could be an exhibition, could be a game, could be a tournament game. It could be even a clinic, right? That you wanted to be part of, right? So all of that goes into the app. And what's cool about the app, on the home screen, you see, let's say it's myself, two of my children that play. I could see on my home screen the next 14 days of everyone's activities. So I could see my child's activities and myself, right? So through the attendance also, you're going to basically shoot an attendance to say, hey, who's going to be there tonight? And this happens obviously automatic. So it happens a couple of days before the actual game, and then everybody will say yes, no, maybe, depending on what the scenarios. But then, like the day before the actual game, the coach goes into Sport Play and he does his lineup, right? So he says, okay, well, he's going to be there, he's there, he's there. And while he's doing his lineup in Sport Play, he sees all of the answers that actually every single player gave. That yes, he'll be there or not. So then he goes and he'll do his lineup. And obviously, this is going to be very good with the statistics that we're going to come out with. And then from there, the scorekeeper, starts the game, and obviously, all of the players are actually part of it, right? So they're actually there. So then you could actually do statistics. And one really cool aspect of the app and us and the full ecosystem is really like the team number. So a team number is specific for that season. So when you go and you register as a national body, is basically that number stays with you for the rest of your life. The way I call it, it's like the social insurance number of your baseball life, right? So wherever you go after that, it's always going to be there. But compared to the team, once a year, obviously it switches. Like, because you're not a U15 anymore. Now you're like you up your age and everything. So what's cool about it is whatever schedule that you're going to be part of during the season, right? Let it be a league or let it be a house. You're part of a tournament now. So wherever your team actually is, automatically the app updates with all of the schedule of wherever you're going. So the point that you were coming out with was before the third party apps, right? Was the volunteers, right? We've seen some scenarios where there's two volunteers the entire season. The only thing they do is they input schedules or the input change of schedules. They input this. Two of the volunteers, that's all they do. For us, you don't have to input anything. The information comes directly from the association. So it's like their information to you, and this is the changes. So this is why we were saying that it's beneficial for everybody to be on the same ecosystem because you're saving volunteers time, right? And those volunteers could do other things for the association, and they're so precious and valuable that, like, let's optimize their time. So, and the other aspect that I want to talk about is the empires, right? So we put into the system, obviously, all the empires have their qualification and their clinics that they go do. And obviously, there's like 5 different levels for Baseball Alberta that they do. So, depending on that qualification they do, when, let's say, I'm the assigner for my association, I see all of the referees that said that they're part of my association. I see all of the qualifications that they've done in my system. I have a pay system. I have, and then the referees will actually, I'm sorry, not referees. I'm such a hockey guy sometimes that like referees, empires. And Liam always takes me back and says, no, it's empire. Empires from there, basically, they will be able to go into the app and put in their availability, right? So they're going to go put in their availability for the next week, next month, next 3 months, for the entire year if they want. And then from there, the assigner will assign them games based off their availability and their category, that what category that it could actually be with. And then from there, the empire will say, well, yes, I'll be there, or no, I won't be there. Maybe I'll be there. But like, the yes and no through the app, right? And then let's say he says yes, but he's also a coach and he also has 2 kids, right? So what happens is every activity, let it be as an empire, let it be as a coach, let it be as a parent, every single activity is on the app. So that's why we mean kind of like one-stop shop, because everything that's happening in your association is in the app. And that's why we say it's for like the end users. It's for like the people that are there, and the parents want to know all that information.
Well, that's amazing.
I know that was a mouthful, but that's it.
No, that's great. So just to recap from what I'm hearing, and it's great because, anything that we can do again to provide value and take pressure off our volunteers is where we headed, and it's a strategic comparative of Baseball Alberta. So not only will the app have a staff chat, a team chat. Is there any filter on the team chat, that we can weed out?
Very good point. Very good point. So we got the good chat. So any swear words or any cultural negativity, if you want to say, is blocked out automatically.
Excellent.
And at any time, the coach could just shut off the chat.
Excellent. Okay.
So it's really, we made it, and we got a very good chat and very good filters that, to respect everybody's space, right? Excellent. And I think everybody knows what we're talking about.
Good. So staff chat, team chat, attendance, the scheduling and tournaments, and also,
the umpires.
We have the umpire piece. That is a stressful part of our sport, and getting those signed, weather, all those other things. So that replacing a whole nother system that we use is excellent. And I think we're hearing we've been working with associations. You're saying the ecosystem, you need to be a part of the full Sportle ecosystem to, get the benefits of the full power of the tool, and when it comes to reporting and everything else. So when we say that, Liam, and yes, Ty in the comments, thank you for the comment. Attaboy, Liam Froment, what a guy. Thanks for the comment. We've seen around, like I said, 62% of associations in the province are now using Sportle, for online registrations. What steps are being taken to help more associations come on board and ultimately, benefit from the full power of Sportle?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, 62% is what we pulled as using online registrations. And so that's not to say that all associations aren't using Sportle. All of our baseball associations are using it to some capacity. Some are using third-party systems to import some of their players into the system. But 62% specifically are using it for online registrations directly. Our goal at Baseball Alberta is not to force anybody onto the platform. We want it to make sense for you to switch over. We want it to be a no-brainer. And so that's obviously our goal for this year and years to come is making it a no-brainer for you to switch over and use the platform. So obviously we work closely with Sportle to make that happen. Some of this, in my opinion, a lot of the third-party systems that are being used are outdated compared to what Sportle is providing. The system that Sportle is providing, I always look at it as they've started from basically the national body and worked their way down. And now with the app, they've kind of closed off that ecosystem, and they now have the whole wide array of basically everything that other third parties can do. So I think we're at a point now where that gap is closed, and now Sportle can provide everything that other third parties can't. So the other ways, the other workflows should get easier year to year, just with what we're working on. And then obviously using the shared system with like Sportle Play that listens to Sportle ID is a huge piece of it. And then a lot of the vision is obviously making the province a well-oiled machine with some of the stuff that we're doing. So
yeah, awesome. And the pages piece, that's an exciting piece that I wasn't aware of. Michael, thank you for sharing that. I think it goes hand in hand with the Baseball Alberta pipeline and Brady and all his work going on with that. That's an exciting new value add. Amazing stuff going on at Sportle. So I mean, you can hear it in our voices and how we interact with all of our associations is how do we ultimately get the entire Baseball Alberta community bought into Sportle. Again, sessions like this, Michael, I cannot express my gratitude enough that Sportle is accessible and has been along with us this entire ride. Any comments for any of us online? Feel free to put into the comments, and I can get to those. Liam, kind of my last one. If an association or user encounters issues or has suggestions for Sportle, or what the user experience is like on the ground, for example, how do you share that feedback with the leadership team?
So we have on our resource hub that we mentioned earlier, if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, we have in the footer a link to a feedback form that is mostly for Baseball Alberta specific issues. We want to collect this for our own information and what our associations are really looking for with the system, what it's lacking, or what you think is done well. If you have good feedback, we want that as well. But we want to compile all that information in that one spot, and then that'll help me bring issues to Michael and his team so that we can start to develop some further things specifically for our associations. On top of that, Sportle has built in Sportle ID, a ticketing system that you can directly use to directly send stuff to the Sportle team. I'll be able to see those. Michael will be able to see those. If you want as well, you can email me and Michael, and we can add it to a sport ticket to get the ball rolling on some things. Any idea is a good idea. We want to hear your input. A system like this that is so big and has so many moving parts is crucial to know what the end user actually sees. So anything that you have, please send it our way, and then we can start to sift through and navigate what is going to be the best direction moving forward with some of this stuff. So
awesome, Michael, Liam, I am always jealous of your talents and expertise in this area. I just can't thank you enough. Michael, any closing comments as we sign off here? It doesn't seem to be anybody have comments posted in the chat, but any closing comments?
So for us, as I mentioned, I think the biggest thing about it is intent, right? So our intention is to help the sport. Our intention is to help the volunteers. Our intention is to help the provincial bodies to go in the direction that they want to go. So we are a tool to make the scenario of all this easier, right? Is it always going to be perfect? No. Are we willing to listen and to adjust? Yes. Are we willing to work with our provincial body and adjust? Absolutely. So we're a very open-minded company, and we just want the sports to grow with you at the same time as we grow.
Excellent. We really appreciate the partnership and looking forward to very many great years to come. Liam, any closing comments for us?
No, I just want to thank Michael for sitting down with us today. I think that shows our membership how active that Spordle is with us, and obviously a big reason as to why we've continued the partnership with them and hope to for years to come, because of how close they work and listen to our concerns and try and fix them as best as they can. So I appreciate you sitting down with us today and going over this stuff.
You're welcome, Liam. And thank you very much, Aaron, for the hosting.
You bet. I appreciate it. Say hello and thanks to everybody at Team Sportle.
Absolutely.
See everybody. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.